Welcome to the Bucs Gambling Show on the internet. This is the home of the money pick. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe. Divisional round Vegas spread picks. And listen, last week just simply wasn't good enough. There's no words to describe it, but they've tried to dig my grave before. They try to bury your boy. Come back strong every single time. Let's get this money. Let's go to Buffalo. First game, we got the Kansas City Chiefs at the Buffalo Bills. Bills are minus 2.5. Money, money, money. Money, give me the Bills to win in the cover. Yeah, I get it. You guys say, Lawson, you don't like the Bills. It's not that I don't like them, but I needed to see this late season stretch from them. And I think they're coming into this game the stronger and faster and more explosive team. I'm worried about the Chiefs wide receiving core. We've been talking about it since week one, and I don't want to be a broken record, but in these games, when you got two very good quarterbacks going up against one another, I'm not sure Travis Kelce, and honestly, we're seeing Travis Kelce at like 80-85% this whole year. We haven't seen the best out of him, and I just don't know if Mahomes has the options. And I wonder, we're hearing this is Andy Reid's last game. That doesn't play any part. But when I look at this Chiefs team throughout the year, they do seem a little bit fatigued. They do seem a little bit out of ideas. I like the way this Bills defensive line is playing. I think that's an X factor in this game. I think you can get at the Chiefs offensive line. Obviously, when you got a guy like Mahomes, he makes that offensive line look better than it is. And let's talk about Josh Allen. I mean, Josh Allen, it's up, down, but now he's riding that wave up, and he's about to title surf it. And you got to think home field advantage in this game is a big factor, and you got to think it counts for an awful lot. And you're looking at the game last year in the playoffs. I felt like Arrowhead was the difference. These games will be decided by fine margins. But overall, I just think the Bills have more explosion. It's looking like Gabe Davis will be back, and a guy we haven't seen an awful lot of this year. I think Stephon Diggs is going to have something to say about this. And the last point about this game, you do wonder. Chiefs have actually been running it pretty damn good this year with Pacheco. But the last 4 or 5 weeks, we've seen this Bills team get physical. We've seen Cook get involved. I just think the Bills have more offense, and I like the way their defense is going into this game. Give me the Bills minus 2.5. Make it a damn money pick. Next game, we got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Baker out. The Detroit Lions. Bucs plus 6.5. Give me the Bucs to cover. Detroit to win. I've never wavered on Detroit this year, and I'm not saying they're going to lose this game, but I do think this game will be very complicated. I don't think it's a slam dunk like everyone thinks. Now you look at this Buccaneers defense. At times they've struggled this year, but I feel like the main ingredient you need on defense to stop the Lions is you got to be able to stop the run. It all starts there in the interior, and I do like the way Vita Vea is playing, and I think they can limit the Lions' run game. I'm not saying they're going to stop it or shut it down completely, but if you limit this Lions' run game, you take away play action, and when this team is play action passing, that's when you see them with poetry in motion, explosive, getting St. Brown involved in the game. Now, I do think this will be a close game, but once again, I think we have to look towards home field advantage. Did anyone else see how electric Ford Field was against the Rams? I felt like that was the catalyst that switched the game in their direction. And you also think about the Bucs, and Baker played phenomenal against the Eagles. Let's give him credit. But can I ask everyone a question? Which win was more impressive? Against the Rams team with two great receivers and a great head coach in Sean McVay, or beating the Eagles, a team limping in, and we did say the Eagles just didn't have anything left. You got to give Tampa Bay credit for the victory against the Eagles, but I don't think we need to go crazy. And we also saw that Detroit defense step up. That was the best the secondary played all year. To go almost a full second half without allowing Matt Stafford in the end zone with the way that Rams offense is cooking is extremely impressive. Like, the half a point is what I don't like. Give me the Lions to win, Bucs to cover. I think the Bucs are going to fight this game, boys, and I'd be surprised if they laid down. Next game, we got the Green Bay Packers. The San Francisco 49ers. Niners minus 9.5. Money, money, money. Money. Niners winning the cover. Blowout. And I know Jordan Love's playing pretty good football right now. And we know what the Packers did to the Cowboys. And we can't take anything away from them. But I do think the Cowboys choked. I don't think the Cowboys were mentally in that game. Like I've been saying the whole year, the Cowboys are flat track bully. Once you punch them in the face, they get on the ground and get in the fetal. And then we saw the Packers do them really good. I'm looking at the same problems with the Packers. I don't think they're all that physical in the front seven. And this isn't something that just happened like this year. It's been going on like this for the last 5-6 years. When it matters, when they're up against a physical team, this Packers defense, I would not bet on them stopping the run. And I absolutely love the placement of this bye for the 49ers. I think Shanahan is going to come into this game scorched earth. I think he has a lot up his sleeve, and I think we're going to see McCaffrey go for over 120, 130. I bet those player props for McCaffrey. And also, the big revelation of the Packers last 3 games, they've been covering well, man. And we got to give them credit. But I feel like that Jair Alexander ankle injury, I think that takes a lot away, man. And I think that leaves the Packers a little bit vulnerable. And when the 49ers can run the ball, we know Purdy's going to go off. The only time we've seen Purdy struggle or Purdy have bad games a la against the Ravens was because the Ravens stopped the run. And they met them at that physical confrontation right at the line of scrimmage. I'm not so sure the Packers can do it. And I don't think we should sleep on a 49ers defense. Yes, did they get a little bit tired late in the season? But like I said, the bye week coming up, that's some home cooking. I think we see the Packers get shoot out in this game, and I think we see this game over by the second half. I think when we go into the third quarter, we're going to see the Niners up 20. Give me the Niners to win in the cover. Make it a damn money pick. Next game, we got the Houston Texans drought at the Baltimore Ravens. Texans plus 9.5. Texans to cover. Texans to cover. Now, this game is quite difficult to pick, especially when you're looking at the spread. Like, I do think the Ravens win, but I do think the Texans are going to give them a run for their money. And we started the C.J. Stroud bandwagon. I repeat, we started the C.J. Stroud bandwagon. So when I think he's an elite quarterback, I don't think I'm being melodramatic. I don't think I'm being too early. Whenever you have an elite quarterback in this fucking league, you have a puncher's chance and you can't count them out. And you're looking at a Ravens team. Last time they had a bye week, they were 6-7 point favorites against the Titans. And what did the Titans do? The Titans beat them by 2 scores. I'm not saying history repeats itself. I'm not saying Harbaugh's not going to have his boys ready. But a big part of this Ravens offense is rhythm, RPOs, Jackson checking it down. And one thing I think about this game is, if the Texans can take away those big chunk plays that the Ravens seem to get 4 or 5 a game, I do think they can get some stops. I do think the Texans might be able to stop the run. That's the big issue in this game for me. If you think the Texans can do decent against the run, I think they got a puncher's chance in this. We know how good the Ravens are. We know how much they've been running it with Monken. But I do think this C.J. Stroud dude, I just think he has something special. He has something you can't quantify. Obviously, the Ravens have the better team. Obviously, the Ravens have the better offense and defense. But when Stroud catches heat, when he gets in rhythm, he is borderline unstoppable. And I don't know what to make of this Ravens defense. And we did see them get banged up near the end of the year. We really only saw the Browns have a good game against them. I think the Browns put up like 34 or 33. But I do think the Texans can ask some questions. I do think this Texans team is radically different than the Texans that played them week one. I think they're going to see a different thing. And I got to give DeMeco Ryans credit. I love the way he's coached this team this year. And like I said on Instagram this week, I'm not sure why no one's mentioned his name for Coach of the Year. That's been one thing that's been puzzling. Now, the big problem with the Texans, well, I got the Texans to cover, obviously, but the big problem with the Texans is Noah Brown's out. Tank Dell's not walking through that door. Do they have enough dogs to keep up with the Ravens? I don't think so, but I think they keep this game close. I think Stroud's able to get into the 20s here. Give me the Texans to cover, Ravens to win. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe. The best gambling show on the internet. Let's get this money.